I'm Sanyika Calloway, Boyce, the financial fitness coach, and I'm here with Donna Barnes, the life and relationship coach. And I know right now with Valentine's Day coming up, and actually just this entire year, thinking about how do you show the person that you love, that you actually love them without spending a lot, or if you've been recently laid off or affected in any way by the current economy. How do you communicate love in a way that doesn't always have a monetary association with it? So many people grapple with that question because if you've been used to communicating love by purchasing things and gifts and things like that, it could, in some cases, make people think that says something about me loving you differently. So what do you suggest?
Absolutely. And I think actually the most important thing is to realize that love has nothing to do with money. And that old, you can't buy me love. And the whole point behind a gift is thoughtfulness anyway. So the more that you can show, hey, look, maybe I'm a little bit strapped financially right now, but I want to show I love you in other ways. And find things to make the other person's life easier. Do just little things, or, even if it just means cleaning up the apartment, or just, if they mention casually that, hey, they need to do this, like pick up their dry cleaning for them, or just whatever you can do to show them that you're thinking about them,
right,
and you care about their needs, and you're trying to make their life easier for them. You can be a very effective partner even if you're not contributing much financially. And don't ever try to strap yourself to put on airs that you're something that you're not. You shouldn't be putting yourself deeper in debt to buy expensive gifts and to show. That's not showing that you love yourself. And you have to love yourself first before you can be effective in a healthy relationship. So
I fully agree with that. And I was reading this book called The 5 Love Languages. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that book.
I think so.
And I really like the way that you talked about communicating love in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, particularly as women, we'll get this gift and it's like, oh, gee, great. And it might not be something that we want or even we fully appreciate, but cleaning up the apartment or taking out the trash or walking the dog or spending more time with the kids,
Exactly.
That's the gift. I call it emotional currency. And emotional currency is basically you giving of yourself.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that you cannot have taken away from you, and you can always replenish. So you can always deal in with your spouse, with your partner, in emotional currency. I think that's the best currency to use at all in a relationship.
And it means a lot more to the person on the receiving end. If someone goes out and spends a lot of money, you don't even know their secretary might have done that for them. It doesn't mean that they love you anymore. But if they really took their time to do something for you, then that really shows that they care about you. They're not being selfish. They're spending their time to do something for you, and that's really genuinely showing that you care.
So I have another question, because I know some people are single and they're not in relationships, and so how do you manage dealing with, do I pay for the check, do I not pay for the check, do I offer, what happens, especially when we're in some challenging economic times, but you're dating, so what are some of the things that you would suggest for that?
Well, I think it's a great thing if you can offer to help pay the check, because it shows that
even on the first date?
Well, on the first date, I tell my female clients they should at least offer.
Okay.
Because it shows that you're willing to be a partner, that you're not looking to be a dependent and you're not looking to be taken care of. Now, on the flip side of that, I tell my guys, if you want to pay for that first check, that's great, but if down the line you want her to maybe contribute, then say that. Say, no, please, I have this, maybe next time. And put it out there.
And that actually suggests that there may be a next time, which is actually kind of a nice thing, too.
Exactly, yeah. And on that point, actually, I do tell women, if you're out with a guy and you know that you don't want to see him again and you have the means, you should pay half that check, because, you don't know what his situation is. He's certainly not on the first date going to tell you that he's in a little bit of a financial crunch. And if you then reject him and never want to see him again, he's going to be a little upset that he spent that money and you let him spend that money knowing that you had no interest. So it's just polite. It's the right thing to do.
There's one other thing I want to touch on. It's what I call how to talk to your honey about money. What are some of the tips that you suggest in terms of whether you've been in a committed long-term relationship or you're just starting to date? When does money come up? What's the right way to introduce the conversation of money in general and get rid of those feelings of discomfort and embarrassment and shame?
Right. Well, I think, at least a good 3 months into a relationship, when you start really getting because most relationships only last 3 to 6 months. So if you get to a point where you realize that you want to have a future together, you need to start talking about money, because unfortunately, money is the number one cause for divorce in this country, and that's because people don't talk about it. And we all have our financial blueprints that we get from our childhood. So if your blueprint doesn't fit his or her,
I call it your money story.
It is, and it's really important. And it's nothing to be embarrassed about, but it is something you need to be honestly open about. And it's better, like, if you're going to talk about these things, make an appointment with your partner so that you don't hit somebody over the head with something or take them off guard and make them defensive.
Right. And so really, I call it scheduling money meetings. And it's a time where you know that you're going to be talking about money. Mm-hmm. You schedule it out no more than 60 minutes, because most people couldn't handle that much. And you make this time. And after that time, you don't bring it up outside of that time. So it makes it a safe zone, if you will, to talk about money, talk about those things that might be difficult. That works with money, that works with, whatever other challenges you may be having. So many times we try to have these conversations at really inappropriate moments, and they turn out horribly. So schedule that time.
Exactly. And that's a very good point, too, that safe zone. Once you've confided this information in your partner, you really need to hold each other's confidences, and don't embarrass the other one. If you're out somewhere and they're reaching to pick up a check, don't dare ever say, "What are you doing? You can't afford that," or anything that would demean their persona or their image. They've shared something with you in confidence.
Right.
So, and the best thing is really to try to be humble about what it is that you are, and don't dig your heels in and feel like your way is the right way. It's just your way. But if you're going to have a happy relationship, you need to find that happy middle that's going to work for both of you. So the more you can be open to compromise, the healthier and happier relationship's going to be.
Now, I know that you have a book that you recently published. What's the title of the book?
It's all about you. And the byline is how to use your power to get and keep a wonderful man. Although it certainly speaks to men as well. A lot of my men clients have told me they learned a lot from it. But the basis is that you have to love yourself, and your primary relationship has to be with yourself.
You. Absolutely.
Before you can be an effective partner.
It's the same concept with money. It's paying yourself first. It's loving yourself first. And then you have the ability to have these healthy, cohesive relationships. So definitely get the book. Visit Facebook. You're on Facebook as well.
I'm on Facebook.
You've got a fan club for your book, which is Donna Barnes, if you're on Facebook. And your website is?
Either donnabarnes.com or the book is getawonderfulman.com.
Good deal. All right, I'm Sanyika, Calloway, Boyce, the financial fitness coach. You can find me at www.sanyika.com or financialfitnesscoach.com. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.